There is a battle that was started by Honorable SSEMUJJU NGANDA when he came out to say that Museveni has appointed each and every family member to lead with him the country, and this has caused problems in his leadership. Because fairness calls that at least you must call on anyone who is rogue. But having a family member in a government position, it's hard to call on your family member because he has ties which others don't have. Now, SODO, the brother of the president, came out with a scorching attack on Twitter, formerly Twitter, it on X. He came out to say, I've reportedly read from different fora and most recently watched a clip from Honorable SSEMUJJU NGANDA on how Museveni appoints his family members such as the wife as a minister, Genocide to operational Kurethen, his son CDF, Honorable Shatsi Kutesa and Honorable Aris Kaboyo as ministers, etc. To public officers, and I have always wanted to say this, hear me out. Why is it that nobody questioned when Mose Amos Kaguta's son were in the bush fighting for his nation's freedom? Nobody cared when General Salim Saleh had the bullets go through his body while liberating this country. Nobody questioned when General Moses Kainerugaba served his nation in Garamba, Somalia. My fellow Ugandans, why should being the president's wife, brother, son, or relative disqualify Uganda from serving their own nation? Isn't that clear double standard? Should we say that their sacrifice was never a problem then, but now the reward is involved offense takes precedence? I must say this. President Museveni has a proven record of identifying, nurturing talent and bringing out the best in people. I'm curious if the eye that has spotted a bit in countless Ugandans with no relation to him at all and elevated them to serve with him in the same eye that would go blind or biased the moment he looked at those close to him. Anyway, enough of my rant. Long live Museveni, Morareje. That is SODO. SODO is the brother of the president. First of all, it's coming out to say that part of Museveni's family in the bush fighting for freedom, which I agree with, and it is the truth. A person like Salim Saleh was in the bush. Sometimes even when you don't, because I feel like the regime would have ended leading the country as far as 20 years ago. But going in the bush does not necessarily translate into running the country if utter competence is going on. For example, Museveni appointed the CDF as his own son. It is the truth. But he's the only soldier who is doing what he's doing. He's the only soldier who can come out to say that I'm going to be president. He's the only soldier who takes the people to the basement. Do you know why? Because Museveni cannot call his own son to order. It's natural. Even when he calls him to order, he can meet him in both formal and informal way. It's the reason why there is an abuse when it comes to security, when it comes to the UPDF. Tell me one soldier who can do a quarter of what Genome House does. I can look at other CDFs, former CDF. Tell me one soldier who can even come out to say that I'll be vice president next year. There is none. So it is natural not to call your family members to order. One of the signs of a failed country is a leader trying to appoint each and every relative into running the country. You invite incompetence. Because I know even if I do something bad, my father cannot call me to order. Even if when he calls me to order, it won't be the same as he calls other people to order. So the issue is not fighting. By the way, even if you look at fighting, the people went to the bush. Why is that every person who went to the bush is only the family who have benefited more? Many of the generals, for example, I can give you examples. One, when the Rukunjiri MP, I think is now the Minister for Security, I've forgotten his name, I remember, lost an election in Rukunjiri. He was dismissed as a minister until he won back the MP seat. It is the truth. To Mukunde, when he lost and decided to run for president, he was dropped. When he won back his seat, he was made minister. Even to Mukunde, on a large extent, has a family tie because his son married the daughter of General Kaguta Museveni. So it's like a family business. Whenever you appoint family to run the affairs of the nation, it becomes difficult to get results because you cannot call to order your family. In fact, those who are forgetting, here's what Honorable SSEMUJJU NGANDA said that led to Honorable SODO coming out hard on him. In fact, here is the tape.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I greet all of you in the name of the Almighty God. When a man appoints his son the head of the country's military, appoints his brother in charge of wealth distribution, appoints his son-in-law in charge of the country's export, and above all appoints his wife, his sick wife, Minister for Education, you do not need a PhD holder in history to tell you that you have been turned into slaves. That's what happens. You are no longer citizens. You no longer have a relationship with citizens and their leaders. You are slaves. That's how his family looks at all of us.
So, first of all, Honorable SSEMUJJU NGANDA has a point to make. And it's not only people who we spoke about. There is Dr. Kajubiri, I think he's in public service, Chatis Kutesa, an in-law, his son, CDF. Now even grandsons are in the UPDF, etc. I think the utter is like it makes it look like as if the utter competence to run a government institution is the lineage of General Kaguta Museveni, and it creates poor administration because you build small chiefdoms in different government institutions which fail to work. It's the reason why even if they abuse office, they cannot be reprimanded because of the close proximity to the leadership that be. And if you want to have a successful country, such mentality should drop. It is the truth. For example, how can you tell me that you appoint your wife the Minister of Education? Right now, he's not even around. I think he's not well off. Do you know that in different countries, being a first lady is a big office? It's like me being the minister without portfolio. It has a lot of work to do when it comes to girl child, most especially in sub-Saharan Africa. But as if being a first lady is not enough, you appoint him the Minister of Education in absentia. So, people who went to the bush, having proximity to the president, may serve the country. But now it is on a higher degree and it looks like an abuse, which I think should stop. So Honorable, the President brother SODO coming out to speak like that. Even SODO himself, by the way, the LC5, the former LC5 chairperson of Akiso District, is on record saying that SODO was controlling sand trade and the army was guarding private business. Do you know why they are guarding his business? Because the only competence is General Museveni's brother. So they could also control sand. Anyone who has the lineage from this family can control any resource in the country, which brings the problem when it comes to matters of development, but also when it comes to matters of administration of the Uganda government. Of course, that's what I mean is truly Mr. Makinde Kabiyo. If you're into this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I'm motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.